Morning, everybody. Welcome to Season 16, Episode 16. You're listening to the Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast, Lockpod, coming to you live from the NECA IBEW Power in Indiana, Lake County Studios.
16-16.
Yes,
Bet
sir.
16 today.
Morning, Lindsay.
What's up?
How are you feeling?
I shouldn't have went right to your camera. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
She literally walked in.
Right from work.
I'm so freaking sleep deprived right now. I almost didn't come in.
Wow.
Exactly.
I almost said screw it and
This is your guest
ghosted you.
today.
You ghosted. I get it. Oh, the pun.
Yeah,
Okay, first off, my guest, I did not plan this.
Dude, it's a paranormal
I
cat
don't know,
lady.
and it's wonderful, and I'm very excited about it, but I had nothing to do with this.
But, Lindsay, it's a lady that's got paranormal activity.
Wonderful.
Paranormal.
I
She's
have
a
a ghost cat, too.
Okay.
Oh,
So, like,
you got a
if
lot
you
to talk
didn't show
about.
today, that would not be right.
Well, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you
You're
for coming
welcome.
in,
You're
because-
welcome for booking the paranormal activity lady.
You're welcome that I didn't ghost you guys. I'm so freaking
We are
tired
happy
right
you didn't
now.
ghost
I'm
us on our
literally-
Ghost Lady Day.
I was concerned about my driving on the way in.
That's all
Uh-oh.
right. Drink some
Whoa.
coffee while you're here.
So just keep
I
it
gotta
on
go to
Lindsay.
bed at some point.
Keep it on Lindsay Cam most of the show, John.
Please
The
do
entire
We're going to
show.
monitor her awakeness.
My hair
wokeness.
is fall, like, I needed. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So anyway, I just want to. So what we're talking about is we got a really good show today. There's some LG news about Micah Beckwith and folks in his orbit. We're going to talk about Trump's disaster politics. A big story coming up that Mayor's going to lead in about what happened in the state yesterday, and then finally in our third segment, stick around because we've got Nicole Kobrowski, who is a lifelong paranormal enthusiast and ghost chaser.
What does that have to do with cats, though?
Maybe
She
there's
has a
ghost
line
cat.
of she has a line of she has a line of toys, I believe, called paranormal
That's
Aw.
super cool.
for cats.
And
There you
also,
go.
Tom, I mean, paranormal and cats kind of go hand in hand.
True.
Cats can see things, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
And
cat stares up at the ceiling sometimes, and I'm like, "What do you see?"
Oh, for sure.
it's like the ghosts that you're not looking at.
Seriously, like
Yeah,
the thing
that's
that's
weird.
lurking over my shoulder.
See,
Yeah.
this is why we need Lindsay today.
By the way, over the last few days, we had a big firing in college football, and normally I wouldn't start off talking about such a story, but any Notre Dame fan, and Kevin and I are big Notre Dame fans, Brian Kelly is a hated person.
I was
in
not
Notre
crying.
Dame. Brian Kelly's such a phony, fake. He was the coach of Notre Dame for probably 7, 8
10.
seasons. 10.
I think I read 10
It was a long
Yeah.
time.
Not great years.
Well,
Wow.
he has the most wins in Notre Dame history for
Which is crazy.
for a football coach.
Well, it wasn't great for me because I had to be at home and listen to my dad complain about him.
This guy, he sucks though. He's just not a likable person. He would, even when he was our coach, he was just not a likable person, and he never won the big game. And it was just like Notre Dame never went to the heights that we should have gone to when he was our coach.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously had success, and as you mentioned, biggest winning coach in Notre Dame history. Took him to 2 national
But always lost
championship
the
games
big
and
game.
lost the big game.
Right, and got his ass kicked in the big game.
We witnessed it.
Yeah, we were there. It was fun up until they kicked the ball.
We were all pumped until kickoff.
So anyway,
Are you
then
guys
Brian
talking about
Kelly.
the Rose Bowl?
No.
It was the national championship. But
Oh.
Brian Kelly unceremoniously ditched Notre Dame, which is why most Notre Dame fans hate him so much. He literally left like overnight. It was the end of a season. We were getting ready to go to the playoffs, if I remember correctly. We were like lined up, and he left us like high and dry with like 2 games left.
Yeah, it
and
was
we were
really
like
weird.
rolling into the last 2 games of the season, and they were important games for every Notre Dame fan. And he left, and we had like a temporary coach, and they played like
Freeman,
shit.
actually, Coach Freeman, who's now the coach of Notre Dame, he actually coached
Is that
the
when he
bowl
took
game.
over?
He coached
Yes,
the bowl
he
game
coached
that
the bowl
year.
game. But like that was a
'Cause
minor
Kelly
bowl.
left.
It
I know.
was a minor bowl
Right,
game.
I'm just saying, like, he didn't even stick out the season.
That was what.
He
That's
left.
what it was. He left after the last game, and it was at that time they had to vote for the top 4 spots.
Right.
And when he left, it damaged our credibility so much we didn't make one of the final 4, and we ended up playing in some minor bowl game, and that's when Marcus Freeman took over.
Yes. And it's
But
been
like,
ever since.
so like, and then when Brian Kelly leaves, so everybody's pissed anyway, right? And then Brian Kelly goes down to LSU, and I'll never forget this. He did some fake like Southern accent,
Yes.
like a Louisiana accent.
We played it.
When he goes down there and he's in a big pep rally and he's like, "Me and my family are so proud to be here." And this guy is from the Midwest. Yeah, "Me and my family." It was so phony and fake, and he's just such a freaking
really bizarre
I think I got
stuff.
a video of that. John, could you play that? We had. This is when. So this is a guy that like lived his entire career in the Midwest, and then he goes down and he introduced himself to the LSU crowd with this phony accent. It was so phony.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started. And I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family, and we are so excited.
Me and my family.
State of Louisiana, but more importantly,
What a
we
asshole, huh?
I mean, it's like, why? Where did you pull this Southern accent from?
and we are
Me and my family.
It's so bizarre.
Even the closed captioning is
Yeah, it's great. Well,
Family. Me and my family.
and then somebody posted he'll be fired after 4 seasons, and that was a premonition that was correct. So that's good.
But like, he's not a likable person. And like, another thing, I remember he did these stupid dance videos with his recruits
This was
that year.
bizarre.
It was, you know how like when you go to weddings and they have that spinny little stage,
Like
and then they have like a cameras,
selfie.
and you're like taking. And I hate doing them at
Yes.
weddings, right?
Yes.
It's cringe at
I
weddings.
love
Yes.
them.
I did it one time, and I was spinning around, and I was looking just like I do right now. I was just spinning around, like, what the fuck are you guys doing
Well,
to me,
it's
right?
like it's
Boring.
cringy for guys like our age to be in
Yes.
there doing it and dancing. I mean, for people like Lindsay and like her
Yes.
friends, fun.
Sure,
right?
because they're
Yeah.
probably.
Chase had one.
And much better
I know,
dancers.
I
but
had a blast.
I
I
spun
did
around.
before.
I look like an asshole. I just spun around looking at everybody like,
I
what the
want
hell?
to see that.
I don't.
We should
It
put-
did not turn out very.
Please post that.
I
Chase.
honestly, John, I look like this, basically spinning around. I didn't do one thing.
Maybe Chase can track that down for us.
No,
would love
see,
that.
this was before Chase's. He didn't even touch Chase's. So.
Really, I did one, and I remember I was so embarrassed the whole time I was spinning around. I
I would
hated it.
not be good in that.
So like Brian Kelly decides this is a good thing to do when we get recruits. We're gonna spin around like you know.
Yep. Here he
You know,
goes.
I'll
Here,
let
this
you
is
fill
weird.
in.
Yeah, I can't
Look at
play
him.
the music. I think it's copyrighted.
Oh, good
but,
call, John.
yeah.
But yeah, they're spinning around. And he's sitting there. He's doing like he's
So
just-
like Batman eyes.
he looks
Like what is he
such a
doing? And
freak.
the irony of this is the guy that he danced with ended up committing to Alabama.
Yeah, he was horribly humiliated. He's like, I look like a jagoff with Coach Kelly.
Yep.
It's just, and this was like right off the bat. So Notre Dame fans were just hating on
Like, what
Brian
is he
Kelly.
doing?
Hating on Brian Kelly. Like just seeing that stuff just burned us up because he cost us a playoff spot when he quit. And then he goes off and acts a fool
And
with
you know,
a fake
and
accent.
so like when LSU plays, I have no problem rooting against
I
them.
root against Brian Kelly
Yep.
every week. I
Yep.
hate that guy.
Same.
So to watch him get fired this week,
No tears.
no, it was hilarious. But the thing that, I mean, he is a wealthy man. He signed like $100 million
Oh, he's going to
contract.
get $50 million buyout.
He's still getting
Whoa.
paid. Yeah. So I mean,
crazy.
you know,
And-
good for him.
And the
you
other
know?
thing I guess I would just say as we close this little short segment is that
ESPN.
it's weird that a lot of college coaches, which you don't see a lot of, are getting fired mid-season, which does not happen in college football.
It's
So,
because, well, his payroll was $18 million for his team. I mean, they're paying big money for football teams right now.
it's just
and
that, as you know, they don't fire coaches mid-season.
I agree, Kevin,
That's
but there's
rare.
so much riding on.
Yeah.
I mean, they spent $18 million on that team, and they underperformed. And
Yeah.
he's got a $100 million contract as a coach, and he's supposed to be this genius football guy, and he's not.
Yeah, I just don't know if firing coaches in the middle of the season. I mean, I don't know what the impact is on recruiting, but I guess with the portal
He was
anymore, maybe it
hated,
doesn't
dude.
matter.
He was hated by the fans and I guarantee
A
it's
lot
there.
of fire Brian Kelly chants last weekend, and they got their wish.
So speaking of hated people, let's talk about Indiana's governor. Just honestly, Mike Braun is not loved as a governor by Democrats, of course, because that's just natural, right? But more importantly, Mike Braun is not loved by Republicans across the state. He is very, very unpopular. His approval rating's like 32%
I
right
read the
now.
same thing.
So like this guy is hated by 2/3 of Hoosiers, right? And he doesn't really care, quite frankly. And you could tell he doesn't care what Hoosiers think of him because of what he's doing now with a very unpopular issue. He is marching lockstep with Donald Trump. Donald Trump told our governor what to do, and the governor snapped to attention and did exactly as told. Well, and
what a dweeb.
called a special session on the issue of redistricting congressional districts. And this is something that I predicted last week when Roderick Bray, the Senate Majority Leader, the Indiana Senate Majority Leader, came out and said that they did not have the votes for redistricting right here on LockPod. I said, this is not over. I guarantee you Governor Braun's going to call a special session, and he's going to make people do it in front of the nation. And that's exactly what he did less than a week later.
Damn.
Yeah, and
It's
I mean,
true, man. I was going to find the clip, but
You're
I
the
was too lazy.
oracle.
I was too lazy to find it, but it's there.
Yeah.
Last show.
Well, I think that like the important point that Tom was making that I think he was absolutely right on, and it's been proven just by the governor calling a special session, is that there was all this discussion like, oh, there's not votes in the Senate, they don't have the votes in the Indiana Senate because it has to pass both houses, right? There's not votes there, and Tom said, and I think he's just spot on this. The governor's going to call everybody in, and guess what? They're going to have to say no on the record in front of all their colleagues and in front of Donald Trump if they're going to vote no on the redistricting.
They'll be primaried, and
Sure.
they'll be beaten. because the GOP.
And that's the biggest fear of all
you don't
the
want.
guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably the biggest problem in legislative bodies.
Yep.
Is once you get there, you never want to leave, right? And you'll do anything. You'll sell your soul to keep your seat, right? And they're being asked to do something that's not popular right now.
And they're getting pressured. I mean, think about Congress and now even in the states. They're getting pressured by, MAGA and Donald Trump. And, if you don't do this, we're just going to primary you. So have at it.
So basically, this whole thing is part of Trump's broad mid-cycle redistricting push in red states to fortify the U.S. House map. So far, North Carolina has already done it. Texas has already done it. Missouri has already done it. Now, Indiana has 9 congressional seats, right? They have a 7-2 split right now, and Donald Trump wants 9-0. And keep in mind, the last governor's race, 45% of the vote went to the Democratic candidate.
Yes, and they already have 77% of the legislative seats, right? 7-2.
But 9-0 does not fairly represent Indiana.
No, it does not.
Quite frankly, it should be 5-4 or 6-3, worst case, right? But it's 7-2. And by the way, we got an A, if I remember correctly, when we drew these maps by some nonpartisan countrywide.
Drawn by Republicans.
Right. It was something to be proud of.
Yeah.
The first congressional district, which is being aimed at right now. This is where we live. Okay. We call ourselves the region. Okay. I consider the region Lake Porter, and I consider LaPorte County part of the region personally, but some people don't.
Definitely through Michigan City.
Okay.
Yeah.
And some people don't, though.
Sure.
Some people don't. And so if you look at our congressional district, it's Lake, Porter, and Michigan City. It's the region.
Yeah.
Represented by one congressman, which is exactly how it should be.
They got out, like you said, an A rating because it was compact. It dealt with county lines well overall and, was fair. And I mean, I'm not saying that, if anything, I agree with the mayor. It should be 6-3 probably, great 5-4. And, it is when Democrats control it, whatever, right? That's how it happens every 10 years. This is a midterm redistricting. And I thought this was weird. This is what the governor said in his press release. I am calling a special legislative session to protect Hoosiers from efforts in other states that seek to diminish their voice in Washington and ensure their representation in Congress is fair. But all the states that John or Tom, maybe you listed, are all states that have switched votes or switched districts and redistricted towards Republicans.
And California right now is in the middle of a proposition. They can't do it. It's against their constitution to do what they're trying to do right now. But they're doing a proposition across California to allow them to do special redistricting to combat what Trump's doing. Yeah. The only reason California is talking about it is because Trump started it with the Republican states.
It's just so bizarre because really I think most Americans would step back and say, this is just bullshit partisan stuff. Why are we doing this? Mm-hmm. Why are we changing the rules midterm? It's supposed to be done, and not supposed to be. It is done traditionally after the census. There are very few exceptions to that over the history of our country. And I'm not saying it's just the Republicans or just the Democrats in the past. It's happened a few times, usually because of court orders, once in Illinois when the Democrats did it. But that's it. And it didn't change Congress, by the way, the congressional makeup. So this is all about the midterms and Trump trying to hold on to power and the ability to keep the House.
That just tells me that he's scared.
Oh, yeah. They know, Lindsay. It's going to be a bad year when they have the midterms next year. It's
I'm
going
glad
to be
that they're scared.
Oh, yeah. They
but
know.
Also,
they're
this
screwed.
is kind of a dick move. So.
Oh, yeah. But I think constitutionally, what they're doing is probably allowed. I mean, and quite frankly, if you look at court opinions on issues like this, Kevin, it's a political process, and they sort of back away from it.
Partisan gerrymandering basically has been allowed by the Supreme Court.
Yeah, because they're like, hey, it's sort of like to the victor goes the spoils, kind of. And if you, so their opinion, if I were correct on this, is Indiana is dominated by Republican office holders. So if those Republican office holders want to cheat in the middle of the census, in the middle of the decade, they can. It's allowed.
Yeah, they basically said, hey, there's elections, and elections have consequences, and if they want to vote them out because of what they did on the lines, they can do that. And the only exception, and Tom pointed this out, in California would be if there is a state law saying we're going to use an independent redistricting.
But they also can't do it for racial reasons. They also can't do it right.
There's
so
still
there's still Voting
Rights
Act protections. Whether or not that's going to be around anymore is another question.
That's absolutely correct.
So anyway, so what's the goal here? So we have a 7-2 state. Trump wants 9-0, I imagine.
Sure, he wants every seat he can get.
So if they're going to do a 9-0 map, what they need to do is they need to crack Indianapolis, and Andre Carson's district, which is the 7th district, so just like the region, we said the region is the entire region. in the 1st congressional district. The 7th congressional district is entire Marion County. Wouldn't you want one city, the biggest city in the state, to be represented by one congressman?
If it allowed to on a population basis, like for example, you can't do that in New York or Chicago.
Right, but population in Indianapolis happens to work out almost perfectly because each congressman across America represents around 700,000 or 800,000 people, right? And the population of Indianapolis is literally like 800,000 people. So they just basically drew a circle around Marion County and said, there you go, Andre, you represent Marion County and Indianapolis. It's the same thing, right? Just like in the region, if you look at Lake, Porter, and Michigan City, it's right around 750,000 people. So they drew a circle around that, and they said, there you go, Frank, you represent the region.
Yep.
Right? So the region has one Democratic congressman, Marion County has one Democratic congressman, and the rest of the state is red.
Yeah, and even though there's 45% of the vote total in the last gubernatorial race that voted Democrat, the lines have been drawn, and it favors Republican candidates in those districts, in the 7 districts that they have representation now.
So they need to crack 2 parts. If they're looking to get rid of these 2 seats, the Republicans need to crack Lake County first, okay? The 1st congressional district, which is Congressman Mervan. That's the seat I ran for in 2020. I ran against Congressman Mervan. We all know I'm sitting in Lockpod Studio right now because I was not successful on that, okay? But I know the district well, okay? It's Lake is the Democratic part of that district. Porter County, it's mostly Republican. Michigan City is a Democratic area, and then LaPorte City itself is also Republican. So what they're doing
in the district.
I know it's not in the district, but what they're doing in this case to crack that 1st congressional seat is taking all of Porter County and Michigan City and shipping it off to South Bend, the 2nd congressional district. And what they're going to do is make that district a little less Republican by including Porter and Michigan City into it. But they think that that congressman could still win that seat, even though they're adding Democratic votes to it.
Goes all the way over to South Bend.
And what they're doing with Lake County is taking it south down to the windmills up above Lafayette, and then kicking it east all the way out to Kokomo.
Yeah.
It's multiple time zones in this new congressional district, and it's huge rural.
Yeah,
like
so
R plus 15 is what they're predicting this district will be, which means in a perfect world, the Democrat would lose to the Republican by 15 points.
In a perfect world, and I think that's one of the biggest points is you want your congressman to be able to represent you fairly and represent the issues that you have, and yet you're going to change this district from a heavily urban district. Even if you count in like Porter and Michigan City, those are urban areas, right?
Yeah.
There's urban areas there. And taking it way south into what I would consider small rural counties.
So basically, residents of Hammond, residents of Gary, and East Chicago, very urban areas, are going to be represented.
Very Democratic areas.
We're going to go, also very Democratic areas. Our congressman, who is from that area, by the way, is going to represent farmers and big, hard right agriculture workers. I mean, it's an incredible, and he's going to have to travel the multiple time zones to travel from one side of his district to the other. And let me tell you, I've driven to Kokomo a couple times. It's a 3-hour drive each way. Yeah, so if Frank has to go out to Kokomo to meet with constituents in Kokomo, and he's leaving the region, he almost has to fly into Indianapolis and drive from Indianapolis. It would probably be a quicker trip.
Just be on the road a couple hours, and it's
also going to remove adequate representation for Northwest Indiana, which is a relatively Democratic area.
Absolutely. I won't feel represented.
Yeah, it's stifling voters and what they want and what they voted for, and it's going to completely change that. So
Frank responded to the special session, and here's his post.
He was obviously pissed.
Yeah, I would.
I've never felt Mervan's tone like this in a message before. He doesn't really come off as a fighter, But go ahead.
The only thing more unpopular in Indiana than redistricting is the governor himself. He's talking about Governor Braun. Braun's attempt to silence the very voters he represents is yet another example of how out of touch he is with the people of our great state. Yeah, that's a pretty rough line. I love it though. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Good job, Frank. And I if I was Frank's campaign manager, I'd probably cut off a lot of this. It got a little long and repetitive, and it had a lot of talking points.
Yeah,
it just seemed
he was
like
really mad. So
well, I know, but if you're really mad, be mad. Don't fucking put the bullshit in at the end. I would have rather he just focused on Braun like he did. That paragraph is Braun's unpopular, and but Congressman Frank fires off a very popular Facebook post yesterday. Got shared a lot. I'm not sure how much it's going to help or hurt, but obviously he's not happy.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a fight on his hands for his survival in Congress and for Democratic representation in Congress.
I would not be betting on the Democrat to win that seat if this goes through. It's a very, very rough seat.
Yeah, the Republicans took a very, thin, sharp pencil to make sure that it was going to be tough for a Democrat to win. We'll see what happens. Obviously, it's a steep hill to climb, but I hope Democrats are motivated and maybe we flip, maybe we keep it.
Let's talk about the other the other strategy for the Republicans is to crack Marion County. They need to crack that seat open, split Marion County, currently the core of the Indiana 7th Congressional District, into several surrounding GOP-leaning districts. That's far more controversial because it would clearly diminish Indianapolis's cohesive representation and could draw Voting Rights Act-based challenges around minority vote dilution. Reporters have noted Republicans have floated this, but has seen it as riskier. So they're thinking that there's two different routes the Republicans are going to take. One route would be leave Andre, and it'll be an 8-1 and try to crack Frank out of his seat. And the other one is go 9-0 and crack both of them and be damned with anybody.
And I agree with your analysis there that splitting Indy is far riskier from a court perspective. You could end up with an injunction. You could end up with them saying go redraw it, which is going to screw everything up because people have to start running for these seats and file by February. So
I think everybody agrees if they are going to redistrict, most likely Indiana's 1st congressional district is clearly a target.
Yeah.
And by the way, John, you noted this on the last show that the Republican Party chairman who ran in the 1st congressional district and got his butt kicked, he's out there writing op-eds right now saying redistricting is a good idea. It's very vital. And his rationale for redistricting is because of all the illegal aliens and all the people, undocumented people that are voting, this is the right thing to do.
That's probably why you lost, huh?
Dude, I live in Hammond, okay? Hammond is 35-40% Hispanic. Yeah. You can't tell me one instance in my entire career where an undocumented person has voted in Hammond. I would love to hear that story. You know what I've noticed over the years, being mayor of Hammond, a very Hispanic city, the Hispanic districts are some of the lowest voting districts in the entire city. And I'm crazy trying to get people of that demographic to vote and try to get them to be part of the process, right? So you can't tell me that Randy, he hopes to be our future congressman. He can't tell me one instance of what he said in that op-ed is true because it's not true. It's
anecdotally from your experience in your city, Mayor, you're saying that it doesn't match up with what he's trying to sell.
Kevin, I would have elections in Hammond where the second district in Hammond, I think is generally agreed on to be the most Hispanic district in our city, right?
That's right.
And I also think that's a very Democratic district. So I want the second district to show up and vote personally, right? We would have big elections in Hammond, and I would go through the precincts in the second district. It would be like 15% voter turnout. Yep. 15%. And they're all undocumented, right, Randy? Bullshit. It's a lie. He's lying because he wants you to believe that that's a problem, that there's all these undocumented people voting. Randy Niemeyer wants you to think that's a problem so that it justifies what Braun's trying to do right now, which is unprecedented, what they're trying to do.
And justifies what the president's trying to do with ICE.
Right. But Randy, honestly, if he was being honest right now, he's not. He's lying, okay? But if he is being honest, he's like, hell yeah, whatever rationale we give to have Braun do this special session so that these people actually change the districts, I could actually win finally. I could win. Let's go along with it. There's undocumented people voting right now. I could actually win. You're a joke, man. It's a joke. It's a cheat. You're going to be if you become our future congressman, Randy, it's because you cheated. You're the cheater congressman, okay?
This is going to be quite an election next year. It's just amazing to me knowing that, the area I grew up in and how democratic it is. I never thought I'd see a Republican congressman represent me in my lifetime. But it's about to happen if we can't figure this out. So, and I by the way, I don't want to count Frank out yet. I mean, I know he's going to fight hard. We're going to see, but the cards are definitely
R plus 15.
Yeah.
It's the worst district in the state if this goes through.
Of the redistricting.
Of the redistricted. Yeah. It's the biggest. And by the way, I was noticing Frank has like $1 million in the bank right now too, which is going to help him.
Good.
He's definitely going to be well financed. So
get out that rural vote.
Hey, let's one quick thing before we knock off this section. Interesting article I read over the week. Trump's disaster politics. It's about disaster declarations. So you have like a hurricane go through Florida.
We had that massive hurricane go through Alaska.
Yeah.
And completely flooded an entire village.
That's part of the story, funny enough, right?
There's
So
a picture of
so basically, what happens is the governor declares a state of emergency, right? And then usually the president of the United States follows suit. And then what that does is it opens up the residents that got wiped out by the hurricane or the floods. It allows them access to federal loans so that they could rebuild their area, right? But if the president doesn't reciprocate what the governor does and say, yes, this is a disaster area, then your residents don't get access to the loans to rebuild everything.
And a FEMA help, right? Because
Right.
they'll come out, they'll help. If there's housing issues, they can come out with tents or trailers. I mean, we saw that like in Louisiana after Katrina and things like that.
So, like, I've never seen a president hold this declaration over the heads of this governor whose state has been annihilated by tornadoes or hurricanes or wildfires or earthquakes or whatever the natural disaster that FEMA is helping out with. I've never even thought that this was an issue up until Donald Trump.
Yeah, I always think of it as like, okay, everyone's an American. If you're suffering because of a natural disaster, it doesn't matter what party you're from.
So President Donald Trump has approved major disaster declarations for the following states: Alaska, that's what Lindsay was just talking about, Nebraska, North Dakota, and even the Leak Lake Band of the Ojibwe, Indian tribe.
close to the Inuits.
Okay. So those, and notice they're all right-leaning states, and I'm not sure where the
Ojibwe are.
Yeah. But how about this? So Trump has denied or delayed aid to several of the following states: Vermont, Bernie Sanders, right? Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, Maryland, Westmore. Mm-hmm. And so, like, what you notice about the states that are being denied or delayed the emergency declaration, they're all Democrats, right? So critics are accusing the Trump administration of partisan favoritism, noting that Trump highlighted his electoral successes in Alaska when announcing the aid, saying it was his honor to deliver for the incredible patriots here in Alaska.
Well, he also said in that same tweet, he said, I won big in Alaska, and it was my honor to deliver the...
Okay. However, Democratic governors in states that were denied assistance have blasted the administration for inconsistency. Maryland's Governor Wes Moore called the denial deeply frustrating, pointing out that his state's July floods clearly met federal aid thresholds. Similarly, Vermont's request for aid following major July flooding was also denied, despite clear evidence of widespread damage.
So, like, the thing I would say to the president, if I ever had a chance to say anything to him in this instance, would be, Mr. President, there are a lot of Republicans that voted for you in that state that are suffering.
Yeah.
So if you really want to be partisan about this and you're pissed at Bernie Sanders or you're pissed at J.B. Pritzker, focusing on the fact that there are a lot of people that support you in these states and that we need to help them as well.
Well, I just wanted to point out that I think I saw in the news about, a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, that Trump, the administration, was opening part of a nature refuge in Alaska for drilling and oil pipelines. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure, it looks like he doesn't really value the wildlife up there. The
drill, baby, drill, Linz.
Yeah,
we heard that on Inauguration Day.
The White House responded that Trump, quote, requires more thorough reviews, unquote, than previous administrations before approving disaster declarations.
I'm sure he's reviewing them
right.
personally.
While Trump has approved multiple Republican-leaning states for federal disaster relief, his rejection of Democrats-led ones that have fueled accusations that disaster aid decisions are falling along party lines, adding a political edge to what's supposed to be a neutral federal emergency process.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's not true. I heard the same stuff under Biden. I think we all did. Was it North Carolina flooding?
North Carolina flooding.
You heard it with him there.
And that was a lot of like Trump just basically like peddling, I think, what I would consider like BS, John, about what was happening there. Like I had read
like
that
how severe the flooding was?
There was a delay in getting FEMA up to people and things like that. Where in reality,
FEMA
I think
doesn't exist anymore. Right?
No, it does. You're thinking of U.S. AID. Yeah.
No, and also if there was a Trump sign,
gutted.
if there was a Trump sign in those yards, FEMA would not go to those houses.
Right.
You heard that. Yeah. By the way, it might be true. I don't know. I'm not saying that was Biden. Could have been the FEMA person, but whatever.
I think any president that does this, Democrat or Republican,
I agree. I hope it's not true.
I just hope that you realize that if Americans are suffering because of a disaster, they need help.
Horrifying.
All right, let's go ahead and do some ads. And when we come back, we have a disturbing case out of Indianapolis. As reported by Abdul Shabazz, multiple guest on LockPod.
Yeah,
Great.
Shabazz.
Yeah, dude, he did this story, and it's hard-hitting, and it makes me wonder, what the heck is going on with our local press? Like, why is it that we're reading Shabazz and he's covering these stories, but the local press is ignoring them? I'm talking Indy Star. I'm talking local. This is the lieutenant governor we're going to be talking about in this next segment, so stick around.
It's literally, it'll make you
ugly.
nauseous.
It's ugly.
It made my
It's not good.
So we're reporting on something we read in the cheat sheet.
Yes.
So if you're going to sue anybody, call Abdul. All right, don't call us. But we're just reporting on what Abdul.
We love you, Abdul.
We love you, Abdul, but our insurance is high enough, buddy. So let's go ahead and cover and thank our main studio sponsor, our premier studio sponsor, Powering Indiana Lake County, is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. At Powering Indiana Lake County, we set the standard for excellence in electrical work. As IBW Local 697 electrical contractors, we ensure safety, reliability, and quality for Northwest Indiana corporations, businesses, and homes. But our mission goes beyond the job site. We're creating a brighter future for the region we proudly serve. Powering Indiana Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community. Find the right electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
The branding room floor. Don't let your business get lost in the shuffle of generic branding and aimless marketing. Trust Northwest Indiana's award-winning full-service marketing agency, The Branding Room Floor. Providing data-driven results to help your business grow in a crowded market is their specialty. From website development and digital advertising to graphic design and branding, The Branding Room Floor will set your business or organization on a clear path to strategic success. Don't wait another day to get started. Visit thebrandingroomfloor.com today.
Cantrell & Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give Cantrell & Cantrell a call and schedule your consultation with someone who's in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-5544-LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you. I was pretending to be John yesterday. I went to court and the jail.
Oh, wow.
All in one day.
Oh. Wow.
I was like, this is what it feels to be
case.
John one day.
You don't have a criminal
one
case,
day.
do you?
I did have a criminal case.
Wow,
Fun.
good job.
And did you think to yourself,
I
I
should-
could not sustain this 7 days a week?
No, yeah, I said to myself, maybe this is what I should have just given over to John.
Yeah,
I
no
referred to John.
For decades, the Ron J. Pressemer Insurance Agency has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. The Pressemer Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and more. The Pressemer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They are here to protect what matters most to you.
Calumet Brewing. It's not about the miles you ran, the perfect score, or even the final victory. It's about the joy in the journey. The high fives after a friendly game, the feeling of accomplishment, the shared laughter. That's the moment worth toasting. With only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, Michelob Ultra is the refreshing, crisp reward that makes the moment better. Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Head over to the Cal Brew or Michelob Ultra websites and social media pages for more info on this great family of beers, and enjoy the Michelob Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Okay, thanks to our heads.
And thanks to our studio sponsor, Powering Indiana Lake County.
Gracias.
All right, so as a reminder, Indiana's Lieutenant Governor, Micah Beckwith, if you spent the last few years trapped in Indiana's endless culture war, you've probably heard Micah Beckwith shouting about groomers like a revival preacher with a megaphone and a mailing list. He's gone after LGBTQ Hoosiers, drag shows, public schools, pride events, and library hours. Basically, anybody outside the narrow lines of his moral panic bingo card. Beckwith has cast himself as Indiana's moral compass, the guy who sees evil lurking around every rainbow flag and bookshelf. But the biggest grooming and child exploitation case tied to his orbit didn't come from a pride parade or a school library or a drag brunch. It came from right inside his own church network.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure we're real clear on this. Lieutenant Governor Beckwith there's no indication that he's involved with this, that he has not been charged with anything. This has nothing to do with his own personal actions.
And this came from his orbit.
Yeah, it's
the
definitely
people around
somebody.
him.
It has to do with I guess somebody that is his. This is as reported by Abdul in the Chronicle, or it's in the cheat sheet. It has to do with his pastor, somebody that in his church that's a pastor, in that pastor's son, and I guess this guy, the pastor is also his co-host on a podcast.
So basically, it's like they're on a podcast together, and it's co-host's kid.
Correct.
So like,
son.
It'd be like blaming me for something that one of your kids did, right?
Sure.
So it's not really, it doesn't really stick to Beckwith himself.
Correct. Yeah, and he has not been charged with any wrongdoing or even involved in what we're about to tell you. But it just is.
But if one of our, let's say, I'm not trying to like bad, but if one of our kids did something bad, it doesn't mean that we had anything to do with it ourselves or the podcast had anything to do with it, but it is tied to your orbit, right?
Yeah, and I think the point that I think Abdul's trying to make in this article is like, why has the lieutenant governor been silent since this occurred? Why didn't he come out?
He's big against
denounce
groomers.
it, right? And like say something.
He's always saying LGBTQ, they're grooming you, and this is like bad, and so like you have something going on in his own orbit right now. So let's get to it. On October 20th, 2025, this is 2 weeks ago.
1 week ago.
1 week
8 days ago.
The son of Nathan Peternell, Beckwith's close friend, pastor, and podcast co-host, was formally charged in a Madison County Circuit Court with a level 4 child exploitation, 2 level 5 felony counts of possession of
child sexual abuse material
with aggregating factors, and 1 level 6 felony count of possession of child sexual abuse material. The probable cause affidavit reads like a horse script. More than 200 files of child sexual abuse material, including violent rape videos of prepubescent girls and AI-generated sexual images of toddlers. It's just, we're not going to get into the details because
it's enough details.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's like the probable cause affidavit.
It's tough to read. Like
it's brutal.
We pulled it up yesterday. It's very, very
detailed.
Yeah, and just it's really, really hard to read.
One more. They also found more than 50 explicit sexual images and videos involving his parents,
which is really weird.
Which is this guy's friend, right?
What the F?
Yeah, it's like a kid.
Whose parent? The guy's parents?
The child, the kid that was charged, the 20-some-year-old kid that was charged.
His
parents, the pastor and his wife.
Podcaster, Micah's co-host.
Think about that.
Dude, if that happened to Lockpod, it would be covered locally, right? If Lockpod had this horrible scandal, like if one of us in the studio had like our kids had a horrible sex scandal going on.
Nope.
That would happen. Lockpod would get pulled into that. There is no doubt in my mind that would make the local media. It would be in both of our local papers. It'd be talked about on the local media, right? So this is happening in the Indiana State House. Our lieutenant governor is on a podcast, and his co-host
son has been charged
with horrible, horrible sex crimes.
Yep.
And like that's our lieutenant governor, and I no offense to Abdul. I love Abdul. I read his stuff all the time. Okay, but like I shouldn't have to read about it from Abdul. That should be in the Indy Star. That should be covered AP across the state, right?
That should be national news.
Absolutely, Lindsay. I mean, why is it that the media is failing to cover these big stories?
I mean, it's
unless I mean, I guess we have to consider the fact that maybe Abdul's wrong on this, right?
Or sometimes what we would consider mainstream media, like the Indy Star, other local papers, they wait to see where the chips fall until they report on it.
But this is actual crime.
But
this is a probable cause affidavit.
It's public documents.
Right.
You guys were able to pull it up. You can report on that.
Yes.
Right.
I don't understand
just
why
like Abdul did.
Just report on the charges.
What, we're going to wait until there's a conviction? That's going to take 2-3 years?
Absolutely, Lindsay. Why? I mean, I don't get that. Like, is our local media so broken you can't even cover a story like this now? Or are they scared? Are they afraid that Micah may retaliate and sue him?
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, and the interesting thing about this, again, I mentioned that, like, kind of the point Abdul's making in his article is like, hey, where's the lieutenant governor on this? Why hasn't he said anything? Because he's been so outspoken against this type of thing.
He's our moral compass, Kevin.
Correct.
I don't know what to think.
He said
and now his buddy is directly involved in this. So, like,
where's our moral compass right now? Come on, Micah.
And there's some indication that based on Tom LoBianco, who Tom is a AP reporter.
Tom LoBianco is money in the bank reporter. He is so freaking professional and so down the middle, and he's an AP reporter. And when you talk to Tom LoBianco, he calls me. And when he calls me, I immediately return a phone call because you're talking to like 1 million people when you talk to him because he prints your words and 1 million people will read them.
And you feel he's fair.
He's absolutely he's one of the best reporters I've been interviewed by in Indiana.
So let me just read
Tom LoBianco, AP reporter.
Let me just read this out of the article. Again, this is as reported by Abdul Shabazz in the cheat sheet in Capital Chronicle. When police executed the search warrant on September 10th, Nathan, who is the kid, and Jonathan, who's the father, answered the door. Standing there right there with him, according to reporting by Tom LoBianco, was one of Beckwith's advisors. What is undeniable is that this case sits deep inside the same religious...
So that's like if let's put it in similar locally, okay?
Yeah.
So something goes down and I'm not there myself, but I send Kevin to cover, right? Kevin, I need you to show up to this horrible potential crime to cover for my buddy, right? And Kevin's in there advising him, right? I mean, it's a fair conclusion to think I might have something to do with that if Kevin and you and I are closely linked together.
Yeah, or just that you're worried enough about a friend that you want me to go there and make sure they're represented.
To watch out for his
not
interests.
necessarily that you're involved, but
of course, I'm not suggesting the lieutenant governor is involved,
right?
But he's sending his top aide to cover for his podcast co-host.
And
what's
this
that about?
Yeah, that's interesting. That'll come out. Actually, that's one of the aspects of this story I'm really interested in. This is something that Abdul this is kind of where Abdul's coming from, and I wanted to read this. What is undeniable is that this case sits deep inside the same religious political network Beckwith has spent years using as a platform to attack others. He built his brand on warning parents about supposed groomers in the LGBTQ plus community, but when a very real, very disturbing felony grooming case explodes inside his own circle, the once booming moral megaphone suddenly goes silent.
Yeah.
I think that's the
hypocrisy that gets me. So,
Yep.
John Cantrell just texted me and said, I don't think Beckwith is going to come on the podcast anymore.
There goes that idea.
I honestly thought we could get him. I really did.
I think we still
prior
can.
to today.
Let's go.
I don't want him on here.
You know what, Lindsay?
Nah.
He's a charming guy if you're talking to him face to face.
You know, a lot of horrible people are charming.
Yeah.
That's a trait that
Trump's
a lot of
charming,
terrible
too.
people
Horrible
tend
people are
to
Trump could be charming
have in
too,
common.
right? But like, it would be good for the show.
You know who's charming?
Who?
Psychopaths are notoriously charming. So
Are you calling our lieutenant governor a psychopath?
I'm saying I would be interested to see him visit a shrink and see what they think.
I don't think he's coming on our show. I'll
I
be
don't
honest
care.
with you.
There goes that idea.
No.
All right. Well, we've got a great guest coming on, and we don't want to wait. We don't want her to wait any longer. We're gonna do ads.
Nicole
and
Kobrowski is
back
coming
with-
on.
Yes.
She's a lifelong paranormal
We're gonna
enthusiast,
lighten up the topics a little
author
bit.
of 30 books. So
Whoa.
books.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
stay tuned and listen for Nicole, who's gonna kind of bring our pre-Halloween show into
Yeah, we
focus.
need
Quite
to
an
we need to like
accomplished
start focusing
person.
on Halloween and stop focusing on his politics.
I agree.
I've been chatting with Nicole during this last segment, and she said this is actually a topic she's very interested in.
I love it.
But
All
she
right.
might puke before her
Yeah,
interview.
okay.
Understood.
So we're gonna shift gears and we're gonna go into some scary. It was scary what we were talking about, but this is more Halloween scary. Okay,
Yes.
so
Paranormal scary.
paranormal scary. So Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltzenberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing always on time and within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions that leave a lasting impression. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today.
MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Stay in the loop and connected by hitting up their website at mcrpartnersllc.com, or for tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to our friend Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious taproom and an outdoor patio serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facilities offers a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need representation buying or selling real estate? Call Kuklakis Law. Do you need help forming your business? Call Kuklakis Law. Did you get injured in a car crash or at your job? Call Kuklakis Law. No matter what your legal issue, call 219-671-6347 for a free consultation. Who you gonna call? Kuklakis Law. Hablamos Español.
All right. Before we get into our guest, I want to say thank you to Eva, who made my shirt today.
Love that.
I have this standing policy. If you give me a shirt, I'll wear it on the air. So I think I'm a couple shirts behind too.
Uh-oh.
So
And it says "Stay
More to come.
away, ice."
it says "Stay away."
I
ice.
didn't see the middle part, so it looks like it says "Stay ice," and I was like, "What?"
No, it says away. Yeah, 'cause
I'll
it's
wear
like
that
folded.
one.
It's in one of my
No,
folds.
Get out of
No,
here.
you won't.
The
John.
away is in my folds. So anyway, okay. Anyway,
That's the title of the episode.
I want to introduce our guest and appreciate her coming on. Nicole Kobrowski is a lifelong paranormal enthusiast, an author of 30 books across horror, history, and romance, and a co-owner of unseenpress.com, leading ghost tours and investigations throughout central Indiana. Her company, Unseen Press,
cool.
oh, never mind. Welcome to the show, Nicole. Thank you for coming on Lockbite.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Happy Halloween upcoming.
Yes, happy Halloween. It's the best time of the year.
So-
Agreed.
This is your busy time of year, I take it, right?
It is super busy. It's busy from like May through October, and then we do other things to keep us busy in the cold months. So yeah.
Where are we listening to you from, Nicole? Where are you at right now?
So I'm in my living room in Westfield, Indiana.
Oh, I love Westfield. It's a great town, great city.
What is that behind you? 3 devils?
Oh,
What is going
the
on there?
spooky little art.
I wondered if you guys would see. So this is part of an old Halloween card, and it was either this or Krampus. So
I do like
Yeah.
Krampus a lot.
That is
Yeah,
crazy.
Very cool. I like it a lot.
So, Nicole, tell us about what keeps you busy this time of year. I noticed on your website, and I would encourage everybody to go to unseenpress.com, which is a really cool website. John will make sure we put it in chat and bring it up here. But I noticed on the website, right away, you're talking about real ghosts, real history, ghost walks and tours. So tell us a little bit about that and what we can expect if we go on a ghost tour with you.
So I want to make a very clear distinction when I talk about this. So we started giving ghost walks 25 years ago. And the reason that we did it is because we'd gone to so many. We love ghosts. We are true believers. We tell real stories. We don't make things up. And we've done the research on these tours, which if you get local people, they are passionate about their tours. They want to tell the correct history.
We have a tour that happens around Halloween here in Hammond, where it's in one of our cemeteries, and we have a lot of local historians. They're real passionate about a lot of these gravestones, the families that they represent.
Absolutely.
The history is like there's such a huge connect with that paranormal, and then the research with history. That's so fun.
It sure is, and we feel the same. And so if you go on one of our ghost walks, we talk about the history and the hauntings. It's outdoors for the most part. We do go into some cemeteries on some of our tours. Occasionally, and none of our pricing is based on this because we can't guarantee it. Sometimes the owners of the buildings will let us come in, and that's like an extra treat.
Whoa.
And then we do other things called investigations where we do them as fundraisers. So we donate our time and people pay money to go into haunted places. We do not stage anything. What you see or feel or experience is your reality. And then those organizations get to keep the money. And
So, Nicole, let me ask you a question. So let's say I pay you and I'm like, I want to see some scary stuff, right? And you take me someplace and we go in there. I mean, there's some times where you go in there and nothing happens, right? I mean, I'm sure there's some times where things happen.
Absolutely. We do not guarantee that you're ever going to see a ghost. We are very upfront about that. The only people that I know of that guarantee that is a friend of ours that has tours in Tampa. And the only reason that she guarantees it is because she has a bricks and mortar store. And at the very end of the tour, you can take a picture with their cutout of a ghost.
Okay.
I
There
like
you
that
go.
legal loophole.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
smart.
So could I ask you, Nicole, what's this? Could you tell us the scariest thing you've seen? I mean, the one that like shocked you the most? Is it
I
local?
think the one that shocked me the most, most recently, because it's I'll be very honest, it's hard to shock me anymore.
Okay.
She's a
The most
professional.
recent one was seeing a ghost of a woman who had a cut on her cheek, and the skin flap had fallen down, and you could see the bone.
Oh no.
Whoa.
Gross.
Wait, what?
When I was a kid, my very first experience was the scary one because it was something that my sisters had seen, and I thought that they were just kidding their younger sibling. and it wasn't. It was real.
Is it always in old places, or could you be like in a Myers and like a ghost walk past you?
It is what has happened on that land. It is whatever that is built out of. So there is a school of thought that organic things hold vibrations of the past. And so my house, when I bought it, was 2 years old. And the day I moved in, there was a gentleman standing at my bedroom door that was as solid as you and I. And I asked him, I said, hello. And I was about ready to ask him, what can I help you with? And he disappeared. And my husband, who should have been able to see him at the same time because he was in our loft, I was like, did you see the guy at the door? And he's like, nope.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's scary.
I understand you have a Hammond story since we got the Mayor of Hammond on here.
Yeah, what is this?
What's your Hammond ghost story connection?
I love it.
Okay, so I can be very specific about this. So my husband and I do a lot of oddities and curiosity shows for anybody who's familiar with those. They do a lot of taxidermy and beautiful art, and we sell our books and cat toys and all that stuff there. And we were staying at the Hampton Inn.
Okay.
On Carlson.
Okay.
Just so everybody's aware of where that's at.
Sure. We're going to get sued by Hampton Inn.
Right nearby, one of our sponsors.
I built that as mayor.
Very nice place. We're planning on staying there again, believe it or not.
It's brand new. It's, within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
This is very interesting because when we got in, my husband and I have this whole ritual, where we put our clothes and we get all of our, the toiletries out and all of that. And I heard the water running when he came out of the bathroom, and I just assumed that he had ran the water because I really wasn't paying attention, and I just shut it off. The end. And then that night I woke up and the light in the bathroom was on, and it was not one of those that just like randomly pops on. You actually have to flick a switch. And I was like, well, I fall asleep before he does, so I was like, well, maybe I wanted to be paranormal. But I was like, well, maybe he just forgot to shut it off, and it wouldn't have bothered me. But I woke up, so I had to use the facility. So I went in there, and then I shut it off when I went to bed. A little bit later, I woke up, and I had to go back to the bathroom, and there was a black shadow standing next to the bed.
Whoa!
I could still hear Michael's CPAP, so I knew he was still asleep. And as I was grabbing for my glasses because I'm completely blind without them. It disappeared. And I still thought, well, maybe I just imagined something, right? So then I got into the bathroom again, didn't even turn on the light. And I look over into the shower and there's a figure standing there, which it's interesting because it just happened to be on the opposite wall of the bedroom. So it was almost like it went through the wall.
Oh my goodness.
And so when I saw it, I definitely had my glasses on. And I asked what it wanted. And it came through the shower towards me and disappeared.
I'm never staying there again.
No.
So being the person I am, I did the only thing that I could think of because I wasn't going to get out like a bunch of equipment or something like that. So I just grabbed a pen and some paper and stuck it in the bathroom because that seemed to be where most of it was focused. And said, hey, if you've got anything to say, write it down and I'll see what I can do for you the next day, right? Because I was like, I need some sleep. And
dude, that'd be crazy if it left you a note.
Hold on. Okay.
So yes, it did actually write down 3 letters that make absolutely no sense.
Nicole.
EAT. I do not know who it is, what it is, or anything like
He
that.
wants to eat.
He wants to eat. He's hungry.
Wait, E-A-T?
Wants to go to
D.
eat restaurant.
No.
D-A-T.
Donald A. Trump. No, it's not a DJT.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
D-A-T.
Oh, I didn't even think about
D-A-T.
that.
Nicole, do you think I need to send the health department to the Hampton
No,
Inn? Or is
we
there
wanna-
something
we
else?
love the
No,
Hampton Inn.
actually, we really, I'm really paranoid about hotels because of an experience I had many moons ago. And that Hampton Inn is amazing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll be going back this year.
Nicole, do you think that because you're open to the paranormal and you're, it's kind of like you are maybe used to or comfortable with the paranormal and ghosts, that
Good point.
those events kind of come to you, that ghosts feel comfortable around you, so they're more apt to or somebody like me who, I'm not saying I don't believe or do believe, but I've never had an experience like that. Maybe they're not as
super
open.
Square, Nicole.
Yeah, so
He doesn't believe in ghosts.
I didn't say I didn't believe in them.
I think there's some truth to that. I think people see or feel what they can handle. So when I was growing up, I saw my first spirit, and then I did not see anything for years, for like 7 years, and I was in a different building when I saw another ghost, but I heard a lot in the house. So I believe that people see or feel what they can handle. There's also a time, like when I'm giving a tour, I'm not necessarily looking for ghosts. I'm trying to give people a really good experience on my tour and tell stories and all of that. And I tell people up front, if I experience something, I don't even tell you, because I don't want you to think I'm trying to enhance the experience. And lately people, especially this time of year, they're like, well, if you experience something, you need to tell us. So I have been, but normally I shut that off because I'm trying to keep them safe and tell them stories and make them happy.
Yeah. I had a question actually, because you mentioned that, the oddities stuff. I'm a big fan. I've got a lot of taxidermied and like butterflies, my stuff. So the Oddities Expo it travels around the country. It's been in Chicago. It's going to Wisconsin, I think, recently. So what kind of things, are you a vendor? Do you sell things at these events?
I am. I'm a vendor. So what we usually sell, we sell our books. We sell reproduction postcard art, like what you see behind me. And then I find really weird antiques to sell. I used to do like take old like Victorian and pre-Victorian furniture, goth it up and reupholster it and sell that as well.
I bet you those are
yes,
good
there
sales.
are ghosts attached to that. And then we sell our paranormal cat toys.
I want to know about that.
Paranormal?
Paranormal.
So I have 2 cats, and I have a ghost cat also at my house.
Lindsay is your target audience.
My cat Bagheera.
Paranormal cat toys. Our tagline is summon the spirits and the zoomies. And I had to talk people off the ledge. It's like, no, we're not actually, these are not toys that are going to bring them to your house. They're catnip-filled cryptid kickers.
Oh.
And shadow layer beds for the cats who play in the shadows.
There you go.
How
Very
cool.
cool.
So cute.
And if people are interested in the paranormal cat toy line, they can go to unseenpress.com.
Yes, we do not have the storefront up yet, but it will be up within the next week.
Okay.
Unseenpress.com.
I can't wait.
And if you want to do one of your tours, because we have listeners downstate,
Yeah.
closer to
yeah.
you, go to unseenpress.com.
Yep,
Yeah.
we
It's the
still
perfect
have
time.
spots available on 2 tours in central Indiana. So in Noblesville and in Westfield. And then we also have our investigations. We have room on the Athenaeum Foundation, which is downtown Indy. Make a weekend of it. Go to the investigation, get yourself some entertainment downtown. And then we also have our Hamilton County Historical Society in Noblesville on the 13th of December.
I go to bed early, Nicole. So, do we have to be up past midnight to see ghosts, or do they come out at 8:30, 9 o'clock?
They come out any time of the day or night. Most people want to do an investigation at night. There's a misconception that there's a witching hour and all of this,
Right.
but a lot of people just have things happen to them day or night. So
Okay, good.
why limit it?
Is it a bring your own spirit box, or do you have equipment with you?
No, this is not a teaching thing. On our investigations, bring your own equipment, but there's a lot of things you can do with your phone. You can record with your phone, you can take pictures with your phone. I have a whole slew of tools. So like if a ball is rolling on the floor, I actually have a level on my phone to see if the floor is level or if it's sloping.
I like that.
And then I use a Ghost Box app. It's called Ghost Hunters. It if you're looking for it in the store, it's a blue icon with a black hand on it.
Wow.
Okay.
That's scaring me
This
already.
is freaking me out, man.
Yeah. So, Nicole, I just want to make sure everybody understands these tours are not just around Halloween. You have them all year long, correct?
Yeah, we do. We take a little bit of a break in November and December, but if somebody wanted a private tour, we would, most definitely accommodate that. But we start back up in February.
So if you're a paranormal investigator, this is definitely your high holy season, right? This is like,
Yes.
it's like if you're a tax preparer, April. This is like your April if you're a tax preparer, right?
Yeah, it
Right
is.
before Halloween,
That's where you make your money.
you're working the long hours this week.
That's right.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Nicole, thank you so much for coming on our show. We appreciate
You're
you
welcome.
getting us in the Halloween spirit. And, I know it's an hour later for you there, but we really appreciate you jumping on in the morning with us on LockPod. And your website, again, is unseenpress.com. One word, unseenpress.com. You can find your treats and toys and tour information on the website, correct?
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
Wonderful.
From a
Thanks,
fellow
Nicole.
Hoosier,
Good work.
we
Happy
appreciate
Halloween.
you on Left of Center podcast. We appreciate you being a fellow Hoosier, and thank you for coming on our show, Nicole.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Happy
Thanks.
Halloween. Thank you. That's Nicole Kobrowski, the CEO, I guess, of UnseenPress.com, and that freaked me out a little bit, man.
Yeah, the Hampton Inn story. Whoa.
I don't. Yeah.
I love
I'm never
ghosts.
staying at the Hampton
I'm
Inn.
a big
I'm
old
going.
dork when it
Lindsay's
comes
going to
to
go
that
right
stuff.
back there.
Yeah. So
I'm going to go do a staycation over at that Hampton right now.
There we go.
thank you, Nicole. It's good
All
to
right.
meet you. All right. Another great episode. That's why you pay so much to listen to Lockpod, is we give you this high quality hour.
Don't push us into high quality. I like to stay in right
Medium quality. Yeah. So
We forgot to read our latest sponsor ad. For all your holiday parties, book Hampton Inn, Hammond, Indiana.
We're gonna have to give them some free ads, I think.
yeah. Buy a room for two, you may have an extra.
That's
right? So anyway, it was a great show. Thank you very much, Lindsay. That was your treat from all of us.
Oh, thanks,
we
guys.
booked
Oh, look at
Nicole
that
for you.
smile.
I know, dude. Lindsay, this is
I'm
like her
also
favorite
a little
episode.
drunk from exhaustion.
That's
Yes.
good though. We
Go get some
appreciate it.
sleep.
So, and Jay Vez, another great show. Thank you. And
Thank
by the way, it's seamless how we're bringing our guests in now. It's awesome. I remember that used to be an exciting adventure, but now it's like
That's one way to put it.
it was, but now it's like so seamless. It's great. Thank you, Kevin, again.
gonna
We appreciate you very much.
hope
And
that continues.
coming to you from the Locomotive, season 16, episode 16 is in the books. We're going to be back on Friday. I'm not sure if we have a guest or not. We usually make that decision Thursday night. So, we'll, so we
time
will let
decision.
you know. We appreciate you. And Steve, thanks for lining up a great guest. Welcome
job,
back to
Steve.
America. And thanks to our audience for always tuning in and being supportive of us. Take care of our sponsors and, like and rate and do all that stuff for us, too, to help our algorithm. Thanks, everybody. Season 16, episode 16 is in the books. Lockpod is out.